150 years ago, the Sydney Harbour Bridge was divided from Millers Point to Milsons Point. Everyone had dreams of building a bridge across the heart of Sydney, but Australia was not wealthy enough to make or buy supplies for a bridge. They came to everything for the bridge, but nothing was strong enough or we weren't rich enough. A couple years later, Dr. J.J.C. Bradfield was an architect at University of Sydney. He had plans to build a harbour bridge to connect the two bays together. He tried putting bills through for a bridge across the Sydney Harbour, but always got rejected because at the time it was an election year, having a new parliament and a new treasurer, the big fella, Jack Lang. Bradfield's next plans after years was to find a sponsor and went to Jack Lang. Jack was delighted at the knock at the door and thought Bradfield was different and took his dream on board. Bradfield's plans were to borrow £10 million to start off the bridge and find more support. He found more support from the Labor team, from help of Lang. On November 1922, Brad put the bill through for the bridge in the heart of Sydney Harbour. That bill later was finally accepted, but no one knew Brad had a secret plan. Brad spent 20 years designing a cantilever, but his last trip to New York he found love for the Hills Gate Arch Bridge. He thought that would be different and less expensive to build. Before work could start, 800 homes were in the path of the construction. They got relocated without any consultation. As the bridge failure took place, stock market collapsed and no work was made. This was the beginning of the Depression. Lang and Brad both borrowed heavily. They didn't have any money to pay back the British. £400 million were in debt, and the budget was in ruins. But somehow the bridge still took place after Brad made the announcement to push the due date of the bridge back. Suffering badly, the bridge had their nickname, the Iron Lung, while everyone around them was starving, tired, and in wrecks. Politics was non-stop through this period, and a paramilitary group called the New Guard took place in February 1931, founded by Colin Campbell. The New Guard brought in to make the nation an authoritarian government and turn the tale for democracy. Brad still carried on with the bridge. Around this time, 19th of August 1930, both ends met in the middle and the bridge shape took place, not long until the opening. The Sydney Harbour Bridge opened on the 19th of March 1932, with a crowd of thousands showing up even though the due date was pushed back and the costing of the bridge was numerous Australian pounds. This eventually paid off in 1988. This bridge was going to be a landmark in the world with every eyes watching. The new guy, Captain D. Francis Groot, spoiled the moment by cutting the ribbon of the opening of the bridge and his black horse calling out, "In the name of the loyal and decent people of the New South Wales." He was arrested shortly and the ribbon was retied and cut by Lang after a speech, and the bridge was formally now open. The significance of the Sydney Harbour Bridge was an emotional moment for everyone who was watching and took part of the making. Bradfield said, "It is not my bridge, it is the people's bridge." Bradfield wanted to change the nation for the better. He said, "The city will be a shining diamond and people should see the beauty, truth and justice." They spent millions of dollars building the Harbour Bridge throughout the Depression while people were starving, and Jack promised to save people but never got around to it because we were so much in debt and he could never afford the waste of money. The Sydney Harbour Bridge has been much more than joining Millers and Milsons Point together. From the opening of the bridge, it's been a major tourist attraction and one of the most familiar landmarks worldwide. One of Bradfield's famous quotes was, "However, the work I have done will not be lost."